Miguel Santos was restraining a man when he realized his wife was probably going to die anyway. The cartel enforcer beneath him, Victor Reyes, a person who'd worked for the Hermanos Deli organization for 8 years, was losing consciousness as Miguel's forearm applied pressure to his neck. They were fighting for control of a .45 caliber weapon, while $8.7 million in illicit money sat in waterproof bags just 20 feet away. Miguel had eliminated Victor's partner in an aircraft at 8,000 feet 2 hours earlier, crashed the plane at an abandoned airfield, and now he was in another confrontation because the cartel had taken his wife Elena and demanded $9.7 million ransom. But as Victor's body went limp beneath him, Miguel's phone buzzed with a text message that would change everything. Your wife is no longer with us. We know about the other heists. Leave now. 3 months earlier, Miguel witnessed the cartel eliminate Carlos Herrera for being 15 minutes late. That's when he realized he needed to escape before they eliminated him too. Before I walk you through the full story, I just have a small favor to ask. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments. What city are you watching from? It's always amazing to see how far this audience is reaching. Now let's get back to the story. Miguel Santos, 34, former Mexican Air Force pilot, had been flying for the cartel for 2 years, transporting $20 million monthly. Miguel began studying cartel operations with military precision. He documented 23 different routes, 15 aircraft, 67 personnel. The perfect target emerged. Flight 47, a quarterly consolidation run carrying $8.7 million in pristine bills across remote territory with minimal security. But Miguel wasn't planning just one theft. He was planning 4. The practice run came first. During a routine fuel stop, Miguel accessed the depot office using master keys, copied the safe combination from maintenance logs, and returned during the night shift change. 12-minute window between guards. The safe contained $340,000 in weekly payroll. Miguel photographed the contents with a hidden camera, then hid the money in aircraft fuel tank inspection panels. 3 weeks later, Miguel hit the maintenance facility. During a routine inspection, he discovered $890,000 in the repair shop office safe. He used a vibration sensor to determine the combination, created a fake maintenance emergency requiring extended hangar time, then hid the cash inside aircraft engine cowling. The communications center was next. Miguel installed backdoor access during an equipment upgrade, then returned during a storm when staff was minimal. He used intercepted security codes to disable alarms and accessed money stored in a Faraday cage. $1.2 million transported in communication equipment cases. Now came the big score. Flight 47. Miguel recruited childhood friends Roberto Guerrero and Diego Morales. Roberto was an auto mechanic facing bankruptcy who needed $80,000 to save his business. Diego was an electronics technician whose daughter needed expensive medical treatment. Miguel offered each man $200,000 for their assistance. What Miguel didn't know was that Diego had been contacted by DEA agents 3 weeks earlier. They'd offered him immunity and witness protection in exchange for information about Miguel's activities. Miguel loaded the aircraft with equipment not on the manifest: emergency weapons, communication devices, medical supplies. He said goodbye to Elena without telling her it might be permanent. Just promise me you'll come home safe, she said. I promise, mi amor. Everything will be different after today. At 11:30 p.m. on February 14th, Miguel took off with Victor Reyes and $8.7 million in cash. Victor mentioned surveillance reports around the airfield. Someone had been watching Miguel's preparations. There's been unusual activity, Victor said. Security thinks law enforcement might be involved. Miguel realized someone had betrayed his plan, but he was already airborne with no safe exit strategy. The cockpit of the Cessna was cramped, barely 6 feet wide. Miguel waited for the perfect moment. Victor was studying a map, attention focused away from Miguel's movements. Miguel slowly opened the oxygen mask compartment with his left hand. The elastic cord was designed to stretch, which meant it could constrict around a person's neck. Victor noticed the motion in his peripheral vision. What are you doing? Miguel had 2 seconds before Victor drew his pistol. He yanked the oxygen cord with both hands and spun in his seat, abandoning control of the aircraft. The plane immediately began to pitch and roll as Miguel looped the cord around Victor's neck. 90 seconds of the most intense violence Miguel had ever experienced. Victor was younger, stronger, trained in close quarters combat, but Miguel had surprise and desperation. The cord around Victor's neck prevented him from breathing properly, but didn't stop him from fighting back. Victor's shot went wide, shattering the side window. Glass fragments scattered throughout the cockpit. Miguel maintained his grip on the cord while trying to control Victor's gun hand. The enforcer's struggles sent the aircraft into an uncontrolled descent. Victor managed to grab Miguel's hair, slamming his head against the instrument panel. Blood streamed from Miguel's forehead, but he held on. The fight continued as the plane spiraled toward the ocean. Victor's face was turning purple from lack of oxygen. With his last conscious breath, Victor triggered the emergency door release. The cockpit door burst open with explosive force. Victor's unconscious body was sucked out of the aircraft, disappearing into the clouds 8,000 feet below. Miguel stared at the empty co-pilot seat, his hands shaking as he fought to regain control. Warning lights flashed across the instrument panel. The altimeter showed they'd dropped to 6,200 feet. The broken window was creating aerodynamic drag that affected the plane's stability. Miguel activated GPS spoofing, transponder jamming, and communication blocking. He had 4 hours before Cartel technical staff noticed irregularities. The aircraft became electronically invisible. The approach to the abandoned Tissamine airfield was the most challenging flight of Miguel's career. The runway was 4,800 feet of cracked concrete surrounded by dense jungle. Warning lights indicated only 2 of 3 landing gear wheels had extended properly. Miguel committed to the landing. The touchdown was violent but successful. The plane skidded sideways across the runway, throwing up sparks and chunks of concrete before finally coming to rest in a cloud of dust and smoke. Roberto and Diego rushed to the crashed plane. They loaded waterproof bags containing $8.7 million into their van, while Miguel checked for injuries. "We did it, hermano," Roberto laughed nervously. "We're free men now." Diego monitored radio frequencies. "The tracking systems are clean. No one knows where we are." Miguel was about to respond when his phone buzzed. The photo that appeared on his screen destroyed everything he thought he'd accomplished. His phone showed Elena taken by the cartel, demanding $9.7 million ransom. Diego's betrayal was exposed during confrontation. Miguel created fake money bundles for the ranch exchange. During the confrontation, he rescued Elena and stopped the operations manager. They escaped with $11.13 million, while FBI and cartel forces engaged in conflict, leaving 18 casualties. Miguel's group disappeared into international waters via fishing boat. 5 years later, Miguel and Elena watched the sunset from their island home. They've built a new life, but the cost of freedom remains visible in Miguel's eyes. "Do you regret it?" Elena asks. Miguel's response is simple. "I regret that it was necessary, but I'd do it again." If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one.